Wednesday of next week, talking about chances for snowfall. So you're going to want to stick around. We'll break down the possibilities for wet weather as well as what that snowfall could mean. That'll be a little bit later on in the show with my complete forecast. Terry?
I bet the lake levels are up after the last few days.
They really are.
Have you seen some of the playa lakes around town?
I mean, they're full.
I've only lived here for like 3 years, but yeah, they're considerably higher than I've ever seen them before. It's kind of
ducks, are swimming out into the streets in some areas.
They get some extra exercise. They're not used to having such a much longer lap now to make that pond, But yeah, it looks like we do have more rain on the way to boot too. We're talking about heavy rainfall on the way tomorrow, but right now we're talking about a cool night. If you've been tuned in to us all afternoon and evening, you've seen a lot of this. Us standing in front of Storm Track Digital Doppler, monitoring these storms. They first started off out in the eastern portions of the South Plains, worked their way up northward, dropping tornadoes in rural areas. Very fortunate for us where we were able to observe them and really go damage-free throughout the afternoon and into the evening. But now damaging conditions beginning to move in the form of large hail, especially gusty, damaging winds, very heavy rainfall, and frequent dangerous lightning. This line of storms stretching from all the way down in Lee County, New Mexico, all the way up through the South Plains. In fact, this thing goes way up. Something that we want to watch for with these storms as we begin to see a little bit of a tail developing on this storm up to the north, moving into Swisher and Briscoe counties. As that tail begins, we want to watch for that to potentially turn into a hook echo. If these storms do produce tornadoes, it's going to be in the early life of these storms because later on they all kind of mesh together. They start choking each other out, and that possibility for tornadic activity begins to taper off. Let's see how our hail tracker is doing on this one. As this storm begins to move over the top of Floydada, there we are. We see colors in red here. Folks in Floydada, you've got a limited amount of time. Just go ahead and stay inside right now. This is going to drop some pretty heavy and potentially very large hail on top of the city of Floydada. All right, we've just seen a tornado warning now come up for these. I was mentioning that tail end beginning to develop on that one storm. Yeah, that's the one up in Swisher and Briscoe counties. They're under a tornado warning, and so is Floyd County for this one storm. And that's because of this tail end beginning to develop. This potentially turns into a hook echo. We could see some rotation. We're starting to watch a little bit of a notch develop just on the back side of this. The area that straddles, well, those 3 points right there, Swisher, Briscoe, and Floyd County. That little section of this storm is what we're really watching. Here's where our notch is beginning to show up, right in that area, and then it's dipping down into the tail end of this. If this becomes a hook echo, this could potentially be dropping a tornado. So we're watching this storm very closely right now. It is in an area where, of course, we could see some damage develop from this. Number one, because of the extremely gusty winds. Number two, because of that possibility of very large hail. And now the potential for this to start dropping tornadoes is definitely there. And although we have all 3 counties under the warning, it's just for this area where the storm currently is, and it is moving up to the northeast. So if you're down in Sterling, if you're over in South Plains, if you're over in Lone Star, this storm is moving away from you. So the concern for the tornado, not really under your area, but we do want to keep our concern for this tornado, or this possible tornado, because of that notch developing in the storm, and because it is also developing that possible hook echo on the tail end of it. So that tornado warning in effect, do we have a time on that? Until 6:15 for this storm as it pushes its way up to the northeast. Let's go back to our big picture one more time here and take a look at what else is developing. All right, looks like everything else is fairly weak at this point in time. Floydada, you're probably seeing some pretty heavy hail right now. We'll keep on watching that storm as well, although it doesn't look like it's showing the signatures of a tornadic storm yet. But we do, of course, want to watch all of these storms. All right, our sky tracker definitely showing a lot of this activity, explosive activity. There it is, just at the very end of our loop. We go from cloudy to severe thunderstorms just like that. The environment is a very, very volatile one right now. So we're going to keep on watching things here. I'm going to step back over here to the wall just to talk a little bit more. Temperatures are very warm. Warm temperatures, these lead to fuel for these storms. So we can see these temperatures in the upper 70s throughout the area, 82 degrees down in Hobbs, 80 in Abilene. This means the entire region is definitely primed to be seeing some very significant weather. We're also watching our moisture tracker. The more moisture that we see, also fuel for severe thunderstorms. We see these lower numbers out here to the west along the New Mexico border. That's all dry air. We're in the moist section. This is the area where that's fuel for these thunderstorms. It's fuel for tornadic activity and fuel for large hail. So we're definitely in a moist and warm environment. All of our winds still out of the south. This brings in more warm air, more moist air as well. Everything is set up to continue with significant thunderstorms tonight, the potential for tornadoes, and now a report of one tornado on the ground out there. Looks like things will finally give us a break for the day tomorrow, though. 71 degrees there. A lot of sunshine ahead. Friday may bring us a slight chance for some thunderstorms yet again. And then again at the beginning of next week's work week, Monday, Tuesday,
another slight possibility there. Okay, we're going to keep on watching things in the Storm Track Center as we've already had that one report of one tornado touchdown 8 miles northwest of Lockney. And of course, those tornado warnings still in effect. We'll keep an eye on everything and of course, cut in where necessary and make sure that everybody's safe.
Please do. Just let us know if you need to.
You bet,
we can
guys.
jump back over to
Yeah. Thanks, Carlos.
All right.